My God, that's beautiful right there. That's beautiful, isn't it?
Because of the way you phrased it, as I said to Bob, I was like, let's just go, and like Oracle can hop in whenever, right? And when I hit that bumper, there he was, the Oracle of Wrestling in living color.
My God,
we're back. Red Dead Redemption episode 13, I believe we're at now, in this arduous journey. Many ups, many downs. Last week, big up, fair to say. And with that in mind, Bobby, I'll throw it straight to you. How are you this evening, pal?
I'm doing well. Really excited for another week here. Should be a good week. Gonna be a lot of fun.
Absolutely. The Oracle of Wrestling. There you are. I thought you was unaware of your mute there, but
I'm ordering my dinner as I do often on Monday evenings. That's kind of the plan now.
Fun.
I like to schedule my week out with the Fed Dad at 6:30. I like to.
Mm-hmm.
I've started to make it Monday as a trend to get the, spend wildly.
Yeah.
And then have food from the grocery store during the week. Maybe maybe splurge a little bit again on the weekend once.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, in many ways, that's the life of a grinner, right? I mean, this business we've got around here, you can kind of do that kind of. Speaking of such, if you'd like to send us a super grin, if you have a particular comment or question that needs reading for some apparent reason about the World Wrestling Federation or wrestling in general, you can send it our way, streamlabs.com/late-night-grin. I want to quickly just do some housekeeping and explain some things. This video is currently unlisted. Those of you that are here are the hardcores that click the link or are on Patron, whatever. We're going to play around and tinker with some things. If I can upload these videos within the hour of when they're done to YouTube, then even though we may die on the viewership side of things, I would much rather you guys be able to watch them rather than waiting 10 hours for them to process because they're buffering and being pieces of shit. So if you're watching this on Tuesday morning or whatever, and you're wondering where is the chat, and why this is just a normal upload, this may be a thing we kind of explore here moving forward. I do not know. Obviously, it's worth reiterating and stressing that, all the grinners behind the paywall, nothing will change for you. If anything, you may now just be exclusives to those of you in the chat, but the content that is only yours will stay only yours, and the content that was previously free will just be uploaded after. If this has any kind of legs whatsoever, we'll find out in the coming days. This week, we're going to play around with it a little bit. So, there you go. Thanks. I apologize to everyone that's been frustrated with the many buffering issues. Unfortunately, YouTube's decided they've had enough of one Joseph James Hole, but they've finally got me out of here. One day we'll get to the bottom of this conspiracy, but for now, we're going to try and adjust best we can. Okay, so thanks everyone that joined us. If you're enjoying the show and want to send a tip, you still can. Streamlabs.com/late-night-grin. Okay, let's get into things here. Guys, how many weeks have we got till Hell in a Cell, Bobby?
It is 3 weeks from yesterday.
My God. All right. So, this is that time where Fed Dead hits an interesting stride. Fair to say, Bobby, where we don't really know fully, where things are headed, but we can have some fun playing around with it. Now, if those of you don't aware, usually our format around here, we look at last week's TV and then we look ahead. Bob, has anything been announced for Raw as of this very moment? We're about 90 minutes before showtime.
I think just the cage match, which they've been hyping up a whole lot.
Okay, which will be a lot of fun, and we'll get into that here shortly. So we're probably going to focus mostly on last week and then just some Hell in a Cell speculation. We'll see how we get on here time-wise, but let's get into it. Okay. 1 week ago, we sat here as a family, and we learned the news that professional wrestling was back. The famed all-caps variety had returned to Monday Night Raw. The former Fiendess was back. She defeated Sonya Deville in about 20 seconds. And, it was a pretty big deal for Bobby and I. I don't know if Oracle pumped his fist. I know he sent something very spiteful on Twitter the next day, which was unnecessary, but, we'll talk about that later. Bob, your thoughts on Alexa Bliss selling 12,000 tickets in a week?
I thought she looked great, man. I'm glad to have her back. It was really cool how they did it, where she just kind of ran through Sonya, just kind of left no questions about it. She's kind of going to be a hybrid of what she used to be and the Fiendess, I guess, which that's about as well as we could have asked for, I think. Yeah, I'm excited though. I think she could have a big summer. She could factor in Money in the Bank. She could be a non-title feud with Becky or Asuka or someone. I mean, the possibilities are endless, and it's cool to just have someone new back and kind of some new blood in there.
This division is certainly heating up. Oracle, we'll give you a chance to comment after your spite last Tuesday morning, as I was in a pretty celebratory mood. I rebranded my Twitter to Raw is Holbert, which got quite the reaction from our loyal followers, as you know. And I thought, Oracle, you would be a rare ally in that regard. And instead, man, you stabbed me in the back with that one. You lashed out about a Rhea Ripley, Lexi All Caps bout. It was quite the scene. Oracle, feel free to defend yourself. Go ahead.
I can see it now. Bobby, how excited are you for the forthcoming Rhea Ripley, spooky Rhea Ripley versus 1/4 Fiendess Alexa Bliss rivalry?
I mean, I'd like to see them have a feud. I'd rather them not do it that way.
Well, here's what we're going to get, folks. You ready? 6 minutes tops. Spooky Rhea Ripley will be, submitting 1/4 Fiendess Alexa Bliss in a brief 5-week feud that will end in Alexa Bliss going home again and tweeting out passive-aggressive tweets. And Rhea Ripley will continue to circle the drain quickly and rapidly as she's being taught acting lessons by Adam Copeland. That's me being negative. No, I think it's really good that she's back. I'm not her biggest fan or anything, but I think that she adds some star power to the women's divisions. She is confident and very solid on the mic. She's someone who has really put in a lot of effort in the last couple of years in her in-ring work, especially all the injuries and stuff. I think she's really tried to really up her game in that category. She's so useful. They don't use her. The Fiendess stuff is god-awful. It seems like we're not totally out of the woods on there. Seems like that's kind of just going to be like sort of a peripheral sort of part of her now, which is a good thing. But also I wish they'd just drop the whole thing altogether. But I know the dolls sell. That's probably the main reason why they're keeping it, to be honest. Ultimately, I think she will be a part of Money in the Bank, and I think she'll factor in for the remainder of 2022 for sure.
Oracle, you were kind of painting a picture there, as you often do, of this oncoming 6-minute bout. How do we feel about, like Rhea gets some heat, All Caps makes a comeback, Spooky Edge gets on the apron, distraction, boom, Rhea hits her finish, you go home. Post-match, they're being all spooky and stuff. Bro, fucking lights go out and they play that Fiend laugh. Remember that laugh they used to play over the arena?
Yeah.
What kind of pop do you think that gets? Is that like Road Warrior 87? Like, what are we talking with that deal? That would be pretty special, I think,
Oh, yeah. I think our buddy Jack Sack would especially pop big for that. But I mean, it'd be a great moment in the history of wrestling for sure.
Absolutely.
No, nothing can touch. I mean, honestly, that might be the biggest moment. Punk's return. Forget it. I mean, that laugh comes over the
universal. That doesn't need to be in Chicago, right? That could be anywhere. Anywhere in the world, that works. Okay. We'll get back to some of this stuff because I'm actually slightly intrigued what I do with Sonya next, but we'll talk about it when we look ahead. Let's actually talk about Raw last week. I liked the show. Very strange show in terms of structure and pacing. That it was match heavy in a way that left them doing very short matches in like a kind of rushed format. It was odd the way they did this. One match I got a chance to breathe though. The Raw Tag Team titles. RK Bro, Street Profits. We've been pretty consistent in our praise of Orton and RK Bro as kind of a unit. Street Profits here, I thought, reminded everyone of just how good they can be. Really strong tag title match. Bobby, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was great. It feels like It's weird because the Street Profits are featured quite a bit, but it feels like they don't always get to kind of show what they can do like this. So it was good to see them get this opportunity. And yeah, I'm really enjoying the tag team division kind of as a whole. Just 4 or 5 really good teams that you see generally a combination of every week.
Yeah, it's been kind of fun watching these teams find their way in ring, getting some time. This one got 10 minutes, but there's been some times where they've filled like multiple segments, right? And it's been pretty impressive. Quickly to answer Will's question, he has displayed spooky powers as the Edge. He has.
In fact, a great big fucking loser wannabe as well. So that's.
But he did transport though, right?
Yeah, I think he has some sort of mythical ability. Yeah.
Owned. Okay, Oracle. What do you think of the tag title match last Monday, pal?
It was good. It was good. Street Profits don't really have bad matches, right?
Yeah.
Like they're actually a very good tag team in the ring. They're very over. They're good, man. They're kind of one of those acts that, I mean, they got over in NXT, and I think they were one of those acts that were helped by Heyman and his booking, honestly, because he really pushed them. One of the few people left over from the Heyman Raw era, because most of those people are on the on the other show, but
the All Elite Fleet.
Yeah. I mean they're excellent tag team. Really good match. Orton popping for like Riddle's Orton cosplay popped me because Randy Orton's incredible.
Factual.
This was really good.
Can we talk about this quickly? Andrew says the Edge has a 9.23 on Cage Match. It must make him like a top 20 wrestler ever, right? Pretty top 10. That's nuts rating.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Anything over 9 is crazy, but like you get that much over 9. Oof.
Disgusting. All right, well, speaking of Edge, I actually didn't hate their business last week. They did a group promo. It wasn't really my thing, but I think I can cope much more with cheap heat, kind of throwaway stuff than I can actual full-on spookiness. Rhea, if nothing else, I hope she leaves this process a better promo. That would be something we could actually genuinely say is like a step forward, because this, she's not a bad promo. She's not the most confident, and I thought, man, if she could just inject some pace into this, they would have stopped the what chance, but she just let them keep going. She didn't ever change her rhythm whatsoever. It's a little frustrating. But firstly, Oracle, what did you think of this presentation for the new faction, or the continuing faction Judgment Day? And then what do you think of Rhea's pretty dominant win over Liv? What do you think of this whole deal here? And then obviously the Bullet Club and all that good stuff. Go ahead.
I mean, the segment, like, I agree with somebody. I don't remember because I can't keep up with it. On the TL long enough and enough, but I can't remember who put it on there. But on Twitter, someone said it's hilarious that like Edge changed his character and he still comes out with Alter Bridge, and it's fucking hilarious. That is an absolutely great point. I mean, I'll even say this for someone who's in the building for the entrance a couple weeks back. It's a neat entrance in the building, right? There's somewhat of an aura. I mean, it's cheesy, but it's there. It's just the act is just not. It's so play wrestling. It's like fake. It's not believable. Rhea's promo was okay. It wasn't bad. It was similar to kind of the one she cut when she explained why she turned on Liv a few weeks before. Except for this time she was praising, Edge and Punishment Martinez, whatever. It just, I don't know. The match itself was fine. Liv's become a pretty good baby face. Rhea still looked good in the ring. I'm glad she finally tapped somebody out with that submission.
Yeah.
It's kind of unfortunate Liv kind of had to be the one to do that, but somebody's got to. Helps to have multiple finishers. post match, with the Bullet Club or whatever you want to call them, I think AJ and Finn would be a great tag team.
Yeah, me too.
And it kind of reminds me of like when remember when Kurt Angle and AJ were a tag team in 2012, and that was like a fun little bit for a little bit, right? And they feuded with Bad Influence and stuff.
Yes,
that was like that was fun.
That Slammiversary match was wild. Remember that?
I would yes. I would pop if they did like a. I mean, I kind of think if they do the unification, I don't know. We'll talk about that when we get to SmackDown, but I don't know if that's match is actually going to happen next week or not. I'm kind of doubtful on it. Mm-hmm. But I could definitely see something like a similar, like a Radar RK Bro versus Radar RK Bro. I keep saying that. It's hilarious. RK Bro versus Bullet Club would be an interesting match, I feel like that's something that could give 20 minutes on a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
They would just go out and fucking, go crazy. I mean, that's honestly the most exciting thing about this is that I think AJ and Finn would be a great tag team. Other than that, the Edge stuff is just.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I mean, the positive thing with Rhea is like they like her. I think they've always kind of liked her. It's just the bad thing is this is going to hurt her in the long term, I think.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I will say at least it felt like they wanted her to be a featured part of it. They clearly presented her as a big deal. I think Edge's intentions are good. I just think we both fear his execution on such a thing. Bobby, what did you think of this whole deal here?
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys. Kind of agree with everything you said. It was a little weird that it took AJ and Finn so long to get out there for the save.
Yeah.
But maybe they'll get the upper hand this week or whatever. Like, I think if they run it as like a 6-person tag, it's going to be very fun. So it's just a matter of getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. I really liked what Cody did with Theory here. About as engaging a match as I've seen someone have with Austin Theory in WWE. I mean, it's not like a 4-star match or anything, but I thought they had a good match. And the place is with Cody, which is a lot of fun. It's always good to have a babyface that's connected the way he has. Bobby, what did you think of this kind of... You called the finish like immediately. When I read the match, you was like, well, yeah, obviously this is going to be the finish. So what did you think of how the way this played out? You were correct. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it. It's like I expected. If they're gonna do Cody and Seth one more time, you might as well do it in Hell in a Cell. It's nice to have a match that makes sense for the pay-per-view. I mean, I'm looking forward to it, and Cody's been just kind of a joy to watch every week.
He has, right? I didn't think I'd use that phrasing for him, but he actually has been a joy to watch. Is fair. Oracle, was this a joy for you to watch? Old Code Man at it again.
This match wasn't bad. The Theory match. And yeah, I mean, this was, Cody Rhodes is always. I think he's fun at WWE. Like he is. He just fits well within their sort of universe. I think a Hell in a Cell match works here. Brief rant. I've never liked the gimmick pay-per-views. They've clearly made Money in the Bank.
Yes.
Like a Big 5 event, and I kind of think they've kind of turned it into the Big 4.
Yeah.
And Survivor Series is kind of the 5th out of the...
Yeah.
I hate that they killed... They almost killed it when I was in high school. I don't know if you remember, but they almost...
They've brought it back to kill it again.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I hate that. Somebody brought up a cool idea just randomly, some random account down, but like I kind of like the idea of like bringing War Games to the main roster, making that a thing. At
Cody would love that.
I mean, the problem is they'd probably have like, but I don't know. There's a lot of main roster people I'd like to see in War Games, even if they do go like 35 minutes, Other than I feel like it'd be better than like some of the stuff we got, but
yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, it's the right match for the Cell, but they don't really have any other matches. Honestly, I think the one match that actually should go on the Cell would be what rated. There I go again. RK Bro versus the Usos. I think that fits in the Cell better than Cody and Seth does.
Have they booked that for the next TV, Bob?
Yeah, so it's scheduled for SmackDown. I mean, we can wait, but I kind of know what's going to happen there, I think. But like, I think they'll both end up being the Hell in a Cell matches, probably. I don't know that there's a women's one this year, which, you know.
Wait, what do you think is going to happen on Friday?
So
yeah, I was curious.
Yeah, so SmackDown ended with Riddle like hitting Roman with the knee. So I think Roman's going to interfere in the match, and then they're going to be like, "Well, we need Hell in a Cell to keep everyone out," and then Roman probably won't be at the pay-per-view anyway, so it works out.
That's a good prediction, Bob. I like that prediction,
especially because you can pivot into like 2 Roman singles matches at some point too.
Yeah, that's what I think too. I think they'll do Riddle and Randy at the stadium shows, and then finally do Drew when they get to Clash of the Castle.
Because they'll absolutely do the deal where he's like, he beats the shit out of Riddle, and that makes Randy want to get him. They'll absolutely do that, right? Because they treat Riddle like his little brother, basically. So
I'm not sure though. I think they'll do a Riddle TV match, but I think they'll do a Randy pay-per-view match.
Exactly right.
That'd be fine.
And the Riddle one will be a plot device, basically, right?
Right. And it'll get time to be like 20 minutes. It'll probably a long TV match. Yeah, I'm thinking this is a whole summer thing, like, which I'm cool with.
Yeah,
because I think they might do Roman and Randy at Money in the Bank. So I'm thinking they'll do. I know we're jumping ahead to SmackDown here.
No, good.
So, all right, what do we think? I'm with Bob on the finish to SmackDown. I think they'll like start the match at like 9:50, and they'll go to break, and then it'll be like obvious, right? Because it always ends at like 9:57 or 9:58, because local affiliates always got to get their time to get their news right at 10. And I don't know if that's the same in St. Louis, Bob, but that's how it is here in Knoxville. So like, I'm thinking it's tough to say. Who do we think wins, Usos or RK? I feel like it could be RK Bro that wins. It's tough. It's tough to go against the Bloodline. It's really hard. Yeah. I think it makes more sense for the Usos to win, and then RK Bro to like, and then like Roman gets involved, maybe even if he's not at the show, or something happens where.
They'll probably
they confront Roman, and then like Riddle faces them in a match and then gets beat up by Roman, and then they do Roman and Randy at Money in the Bank, and then I don't even know. You could probably give.
Would you bet against like Riddle turning heel in this deal? He costs Randy when he wrestles Roman, because that feels like something they would definitely do.
Yeah,
can you imagine? That's something they would do, right?
Yeah. There you go, right there, and that's where we get Randy and Riddle at SummerSlam.
Yeah,
and we get. I think we get Roman and Drew twice. I think we get it at SummerSlam, and I think we get it at.
That's fair.
I don't know what else they're gonna do with him. Because makes sense. They started the Drew stuff too early, man. If it's kind of got to be soon, right? Like it has to.
Yeah. And then I think they'll probably do like a Nakamura title match on TV. Not on paper. I think they'll do it on TV. Sometime in the or sometime in the summer somewhere. Just kind of maybe 2-week build for it and throw it on there. I think Cody is still the long-term plan, but I don't know when that comes. I originally thought it was SummerSlam, but I don't think it's going to happen now. I think there's a shot that Drew actually wins the belt in Cardiff, and then it's hot-shotted. And it's almost like a dusty finish, and then they get it back on Roman. I think there's actually a chance.
They could Luger him maybe, right? And win it to a big pot and then lose it immediately the next weekend. Yeah, that's fine.
I think that's possible. Do you think that's possible?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. 100%. Okay, last thing here from Raw. Asuka and Bianca Belair. Oracle, on your recommendation, I actually watched this. We've got 3 minutes of it. Is there enough said about how far Bianca Belair has come in kind of a technical sense, Bob? In like, she's always had certain star ingredients, a lot of them, honestly. But if you watch this little tiny match these two put together, and it was short, like Bianca Belair has come a long way as just a straight up wrestler, right, Bobby?
Yeah, absolutely. And even going back to like the TV matches she had with Doudrop, those are all very good, and just she's great.
Absolutely. Oracle, you were very fired up about this one, even though it was just a preview of what we hope is to come. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I was just impressed at how smooth everything looked and how they paced it, and just like, even though it was a lot of, just a lot of holds and counters and sort of sequences and stuff. I thought it was really impressive. I thought that they had good chemistry, and I think a singles match would be killer.
Yeah.
I don't know if y'all got the vibe out of that, but I thought it would look. I thought
absolutely.
It was really good.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all kind of assumed that anyway. Seeing it in action, it definitely felt like that was the case. Yeah, I would agree. So people in the chat talking about heel Riddle, it would certainly be interesting. It just feels like turning Randy would be so like it's just you've done it a million times, and now isn't the time.
Too hard to turn. I think he's like it's hard to turn him.
Yeah, he should be a babyface, honestly, for like most of the rest of his career. As weird as that sounds, people love him, man. He's
suddenly one of the top babyfaces in the promotion.
Indeed. Did either of you two gentlemen watch WWE Main Event?
I did not.
No, what was on that show?
Well, T-Bar defeated Reggie in a snappy 2 minutes 50. And in the main event, best friends, better enemies. Apollo Crews, Akira Tozawa. 6 minutes, brother. I'm having good.
Yeah, that might have been good. Yeah.
Let's see what ratings it's got so far. Well, thus far we have a 3 and a 4, so maybe it didn't quite work it the way they would have 6 years ago. I don't know. Now we have to discuss NXT. Oracle, I don't know if you've seen NXT. If you haven't, it's fine. I
saw it. I caught it late and I kind of was dozing in and out, but I saw it was a very female heavy show, which I thought was a good thing. And in fact, last week I think they made it a thing. I think my theory is that WWE is just as aware of what's going on social media about AEW using their women, and now they're like throwing the women on TV constantly. I think it's on purpose.
But especially this show, they can kind of use as like a they can kind of do what they want.
I feel like there's some agreement there. I think it's a deliberate troll, which is kind of lame that they're doing it that way, but.
The result's the same. The result's the same, right?
Exactly.
It is what it is.
Exactly.
Bob, where are we at in your ongoing personal conflict with this show? You're a very level-headed young man, and I respect you greatly, but you appear to fucking hate this show many times during our Fred Dead Redemption history. So where are you at this point?
It's funny. We stopped doing the grin along, and I actually went and watched the last 90 minutes of the show live, which I don't usually do. I usually watch it the next day. Yeah. It was fine. It was actually a pretty strong week, I think. Some of the stuff didn't hit, but I think for the most part, from what I saw, it was pretty good, and hopefully they can keep it up.
Well, let's get into the big topic for NXT. A 3 3/4 star match, currently sitting at 7.14, which I say lovingly. Natalya and Cora Jade. Cora Jade is a hell of a babyface. I haven't seen this whole match, to be clear, before I go any further. She's a hell of a babyface, but she is raw. Right, she's got there's something there clearly, but it's a long way to go. Natalya having this level of match with her feels like genuinely one of her finest hours. It is, right. This is I'll be honest, with you guys. I didn't think this would be good, and I saw clips of it. I hear it.
We lost Joe briefly.
Very good, Oracle. Thank you very much. Did this deliver for you, Oracle? This Natalya situation?
Yeah, it did. It's weird. Cora Jade, she's extremely young, which is why she's so green. That's
absolutely.
And then you can say Roxy's. I think it's a little bit different with her. The way she's sort of approached wrestling is just different.
She's different.
Yeah, it's different. Cora is the number one thing that's really good with her is she's figured out how to be sympathetic and how to sell and how to time comebacks and show some fire. That's super. That's the most important thing, and she's already got that down. So I automatically like her for that. Her offense is bad. She doesn't always do well stringing together offense. Transitions aren't always great. In terms of defensive transitions, she's good at making comebacks and stuff. But just kind of the fundamentals and stuff she struggles at, right? But it's really not that big of a deal. It was a perfect kind of match for her. Natalya could kind of bully her around and work over. They did the Austin Brett finish. which I thought was smart. Have Natty win, but not Cora tap out. That was really, really well done. Of course, they did the respect thing after the match, which was fine. I mean, this was ultimately, I thought, a good piece of business, to be honest.
Good. I'm glad to hear it, Bobby. You're a famed Natalya fan. Big night for you, pal. Congratulations. What did you think?
I thought it was a good match. It would have probably made more sense for Cora to win, but the way she lost was fine. I don't think they're going to do a rematch. Maybe they will. I don't know. But if it's a one-off, I would have probably had Natalya or Cora win. But to pass out in the sharpshooter is a cool spot too.
Hopefully they do a rematch. Hopefully they tell a kind of prolonged story with this of the veteran and such. I think it's good stuff. Where are we at this point on Toxic Attraction? I know they retained their tag titles here against Roxanne and Wendy Chu. There's a lot of discourse about this act. We've kind of explored it some here. Oracle, how are JC and Gigi doing as just like an actual team? How are they coming along in that regard?
Man.
Yeah.
They're far down the list, and it's weird because with Gigi, I think she has crazy offense that she can hit sometimes that looks insane.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't look safe, it pops me. But in a tag team setting, she can't really apply that as much.
Yeah.
And especially when you're getting coached to be Mean Girls and Stooge and stuff, which they're not awful at. It's a cartoon act. It's just not for me. I wish it were better, but
that's fair.
It's just not that good.
I was wondering mechanically, we were seeing good signs. Bob, in terms of the overall act, still struggling with this Toxic Attraction kind of centerpiece.
Yeah, a little bit. They don't really evolve. They've just kind of been doing the same thing for however many months now, and it's well, that's fine. But if you don't like them and they're going to keep doing that, then it just doesn't work.
Yeah, it's tough. I can't pull my punches on some of this stuff because it's they seem, they're trying their best. A couple of them are newer than others, and there's a lot of different things going on here. It doesn't seem to be very good, unfortunately. Bob, any signs of progress on the Bron Breakker Joe Gacy front? Now, this one is getting rave reviews, and by that I mean people are saying it's one of the worst feuds of the year. Is that indeed the case, Bobby?
Yeah, it's not good. And again, we all like Joe Gacy. I mean, I know me and you like Joe Gacy at least. I don't know about Oracle.
Yeah, no one else in the world does, but you and I do.
But yeah, it's just not working, and they're clearly going to run it again. And it's just, I don't know what we're doing here, man.
Yeah,
because it doesn't help Braun at all either.
Oh no, it does very much the opposite. It actively hurts him, I would suggest, based on what I've seen. Oracle, is that the case, or are you actually? Oh no. Oh dear. He appears to be. He's motioning towards some kind of button there. I can't quite see which one it is, but my eyes are not the
fast forward button, I believe.
Oh
yeah. It's fast forward material, brother. I don't even watch it.
Wow. Did you not hear, Bob? Everyone loves Joe Gacy. I thought he was pointing at the pause button. I was like, why? Is he going to watch it after or something? Anyway. Hey, guys, do you want to talk about NXT Level Up?
What did they have this week?
Sanga defeated Dante Chen. Elektra Lopez defeated Thea Howe. Trick Williams, Javier Bernal. Okay. Trick's match has got 1 rating, 2 ratings. They're both 4s. That's not too bad. Yes, one last thing on the NXT front because I forgot. Are we confident calling this Tony D'Angelo, Santos Escobar stuff good? Because there's been a lot of debate about whether we're allowed or not. I don't know. What do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of fun. Again, I don't know how good Tony D'Angelo is in the ring. I think working with Santos will really help him. And I don't think Legado del Fantasma needs to be down there anymore. But if you put all that aside, it's been a lot of fun.
There you go. Positive Bobby. Oracle, I have no clue how you react to this kind of stuff. What do you think of it?
They did this 10-minute segment that kind of puts bet on the grin where they did this whole thing, but at the same time it kind of ruled.
Yeah,
I don't know. I like it, but It's totally ridiculous, but it's a kind of WWE ridiculous. It's sort of fun to watch. Especially when like Santos and like Tony D'Angelo are like making faces and like cutting like stereotypical promos. It's hilarious. It's enjoyable. It's fun TV. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but it is enjoyable.
They're trying real hard too. Like Tony D is doing like full De Niro. Like he couldn't be more committed to this bit. Bless his heart. So there you go. Okay, let's do some SmackDown talk. This was actually a SmackDown, and I know we were on the air, so I don't know how much you guys got to catch of it. This was a SmackDown that actually got some relatively positive reviews. It's at a 6.45 on Cage Match, but to be quite frank, that is a massive leap upward for the Blue Brand as to where they've been as of late. Bob, how much did you see of SmackDown before we get into this?
I went back and I did watch some of it. I saw Ronda and Raquel, and I saw the women's tag match, and then I saw the main event segment.
Okay. Well, let's talk Ronda and Raquel, because that one jumped off the page when they booked it as kind of a weird, just a weird one to go. You know, nothing wrong with it, but it was just a little bit caught everyone off guard. How was it for you, Bobby?
I think it was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, I didn't think it was going to be very good, full disclosure, but like, I think it helps, Ronda get on TV, kind of get in action, defend the title, be fighting champion and all that, and kind of helps Raquel move along a little bit. I think, we've talked about how she's not as good as she used to be. She's definitely kind of devolved a little bit, but overall, I don't think it was terrible.
Oracle, is this another positive step for Ronda? Her, is she kind of gets her working, boots on? What do you think? Another positive step for Ronda?
I actually like this match. I saw some people in our chat on Friday say it wasn't very good, but I actually thought it was pretty good. Like, I was actually surprised at how good it was. Like, it wasn't like blow away. I mean, it's not must see. Don't go anywhere to see it, but it was a fun TV match. I thought it was a good title defense. I thought
got a pretty good rating. So
yeah. I thought Ronda looked very good in it. Raquel, there were a couple sloppy spots, but I thought she looked fine. I thought they did a really good job of her like dominating Ronda and throwing her around, and they did some cool counters and like submission. It was fun. I actually liked it a good bit.
There you go. Let's stick with the women's division. There was a tag title match too, Naomi and Sasha against the aforementioned Nat by Nature. Am I right, Bob? And Shayna Baszler. What do you think of this one, Bob? And then in a grander sense, what do you think of this tag title reign thus far?
Yeah, I think this match was okay. Perfectly fine for a TV match. I think the title reign itself has been very good, and it's really kind of helped elevate those belts again. And credit to Sasha and Naomi for that, big time. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what like the big, because they're clearly they're running through all the women's tag teams. They're clearly going to build to something. So I don't know if they're going to do kind of like an all-star women's tag team where Bayley teams up with someone and maybe that's one of the stadium show matches or something, but it feels like they're building to something, just having them kind of run through all the tag teams so far.
There you go. Oracle, where are you at on this this tag title reign thus far?
I didn't love this match. Sasha and Naomi are a good tag team. I thought this one, like a lot of times, this one felt rushed. Like they had decent time, but they had felt like they had to go through everything, and I think there was a struggle there. I really liked that TV match we got with Rhea and Liv versus the two of them. And like I remember you predicted you like I better rule, and it did. They had like 10 or 15 on SmackDown a few weeks for WrestleMania, and it ruled. But I don't know. It's just Shayna and Shayna's great, but Shayna and Natty are just not a great tag team. And like I thought this one rushed, but in terms of like the women's tag titles being represented and Sasha and Naomi being on TV most weeks, I think that's a good thing because I think it helps. And I love Naomi. Like Naomi's awesome, but they seemingly don't care for her much. But it helps that she's with Sasha, who they see as a superstar. So now they can kind of, be on TV and have matches and stuff. And I think they're a pretty decent tag team. I think sometimes knowing Sasha, she wants to get so much stuff in her matches, and sometimes they don't get the time that they probably want. And they're like trying to do all this stuff, and sometimes there's some misdirection and a lot of traffic going on sometimes. But I it felt the way, felt the same on Monday and the Dewdrop and Nikki tag too. Although I thought that might even been a little bit better, but still good things overall.
Good. Bob, did you say you saw Riddle and Sammy, or did you not catch on?
No, I didn't see the match. I just saw the main event segment.
Oracle, if I can quickly go back to you. This one got pretty strong response. Riddle and Sammy. What was up with this? Did this deliver for you?
Great match. Yeah.
It
was a really good TV match. Great TV match. Sami Zayn's incredible. Now he's doing like this whole thing where he's like locker room leader Sami Zayn, and he's like wearing Bloodline shirts and like talking about how he wants to like. He's like kissing ass to the blood. It's incredible. He's amazing. He's like the best character they have on TV every week.
It sure seems that way. SmackDown is an interesting show, and it's the show that most people like. If you look at the viewership, it's clearly the most watched show.
Mm-hmm.
It may get the least response on my timeline, or maybe I'm just off on Saturday. I don't know what the deal is. Bob, do you get that sense too? It feels like no one ever like live people are talking about it, but I mean, like the next day, do you ever see SmackDown segments or matches getting a lot of buzz on social? Really, it doesn't seem to happen for me.
No, not at all. And I don't know, like you said, if that's because people are just doing other stuff on Saturday or what the deal is. Because I don't know. Like, the thing about SmackDown, too, is like it's generally only as good as whatever Roman and Sasha are doing.
Yeah.
So if they're not around, it becomes a whole thing. But yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one that will get some buzz, Bobby. Steel Cage, you mentioned it earlier. Bob Lash, Omos, Clash of the Titans, the trilogy. The ultimate rubber match, the kind of wrestling bout that dreams are made of. How excited are we right now, Bob?
I'm fired up, man. Really excited. Just pumped my fist when they announced it. Hopefully Lashley does the spear through the cage. But it just should be fun, man. It's good old school stuff.
My God, the Raw section of the WWF page is just like all caps clips, like just random. Like the third one from the top literally just says, Alexa Bliss attacks Bayley with a kendo stick.
You shouldn't remind people of that.
No, it kind of rules though. That's just like randomly posted. They don't explain it. Okay. Oracle, are you willing to be excited about this cage match with Bobby and I? Because we've decided we're excited.
I hope they do the spot. Like, I remember like, so Bob, you're probably watching then. Build-A-Mania 23 for the Battle of the Billionaires.
Mm.
They had like Bobby Lashley get thrown in all these matches and shit, and he wrestled Umaga in a cage match. I think it was Umaga in a cage, or at least maybe it was. I mean, maybe wrestled somebody else in the cage. It was on ECW TV, and like he did the famous where he speared through the cage wall and then on top of Umaga.
Yes.
I hope some crazy shit like that happens. I mean, we know Bobby Lashley can do crazy shit, even if it's by accident, like when the ropes broke and the motherfucker. Did y'all see that clip?
Mm-hmm.
When the ropes broke?
That looks so bad. That looks so dangerous, man.
Yeah, it could have been real bad.
Somebody had to get their fucking ass chewed for that.
Mm-hmm.
If I was him, I'd be fucking like,
yeah,
I'd be raising hell after the match. I'd be like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, lucky it was Bob, man. That dude's fucking built a titanium. He just fucking just fell down and stood back up and finished the match.
Yep. I liked that the next house show he was like over like the tour, he would like check the ropes and shit and like.
Yeah, but, he's the man. God bless him.
I'm hoping to see something cool like that. Like Omos, God bless the man. Wrestling's not his
no.
Not really his
forte.
Yeah, his art, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Hopefully it's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, a couple of things that are coming up tomorrow on NXT. They always announce stuff for NXT, pieces of shit. The aforementioned Tony D. Santos Escobar feud comes to a head as they collide for, and I quote, family supremacy. Bob, this was a big one for Tony D. As you mentioned, there's some chatter about his in-ring. Escobar, obviously, his kind of resume speaks for itself. Mm-hmm. How confident are you in this being good?
I mean, his match with Ciampa at Stand and Deliver was good. So I think if he's in there with someone who knows what they're doing, they can carry him. And he's good enough where he can make it work. So I think it should be okay.
Oracle, you on board with that optimism for Tony D and Santos Escobar?
Yeah, I think it could be fun. I think they need to do some smoke and mirrors stuff with it.
Yeah.
Tony's not enthralling when it comes to actual in-ring matches, but if they do some he's not awful, he's just boring.
No, he's just he's
Like,
very 90s WWF, isn't he?
Yes, yeah. If they do some smoke and mirrors and have all the seconds do shit and Elektra Lopez does a fucking somersault plancha or some shit on the fucking consigliere, he's out there on the floor, that shit'll rule. Or the capo regimes, whatever you want to call them.
Andrew mentions you basically lose to Tony D and get called up. It's the formula. Bob, is it finally time? Is Escobar headed up, do you think?
I hope so.
Yeah. Confident on that? Or
no.
Hard to be at this point, right? Okay. Cameron Grimes and Solo Sikoa join forces to take on Carmelo Hayes and Trick Williams. Is this Trick's first match on the actual television?
He's had a couple.
He had on actual TV?
Mm-hmm. One or two.
Oh, there you go. Well, fucking owned.
I think he's had a squash, I think.
Yeah.
And then, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm a fan of Trick Williams because he went to my favorite college football.
Oh, he seems to roll. I just haven't seen him actually wrestle yet. Where are we at on this whole kind of picture with these guys? I know that Solo Sikoa, I saw the angle where he super kicked them and the place actually popped huge like he was The Rock. It was kind of cool. How's this stuff going, Oracle? This whole kind of mix of guys.
Solo Sikoa and Cameron Grimes. Cameron Grimes is really good. I think he's a perfect guy to have the North American title. I mean, Trevor Lee was awesome on the Indies.
Yeah.
I think I think it's been going well. I think Grimes has had several good title defenses. I think this will be a good match too.
Bobby, you in on this one also?
Yeah, I agree. I like Grimes a lot. I think Solo Sikoa is really coming along to the point where you could just, if you wanted to, call him up, put him with the Usos, and he'd be fine. But we'll see if they do that. But yeah, he's really impressed me over the past couple months there. Because when he came in, he was a little raw, but he's really picked up in a hurry, which isn't super surprising. Yeah, I think Cameron Grimes is awesome.
There you go. Our favorites, the Creed brothers, running it back with the Viking Raiders, War Machine, whatever you want to call them. First match popped. You obviously did the Roddy Strong finish. There was some. You actually got a reason to run it back. Excited to see the sequel here, Bobby, on NXT.
Yeah, I am. I think it's a really good way to use the Viking Raiders there, and Creed brothers should pick up another win, and it should be good stuff.
Oracle still sky high on the great Creed brothers of Bob and I's favorite wrestlers.
I like them a good bit. Losing Bivens, I think, takes some things from them a little bit, unfortunately.
Well, we've got Roddy as a promo now, man. You know what I mean? He's a great mouthpiece for them,
But Roddy needs to stay between the ropes, brother. But I think you agree with that.
Yes.
But his I don't know, man. Their last match disappointed me. Hopefully this one's better. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see. All right. We kind of touched on the SmackDown, the big matches in that SmackDown. A couple last things, as you kind of look ahead here. Now, this wrap up of just a quick kind of prediction of where we think Hell in a Cell is headed. There's not a match book for it right now, as far as I know. I don't think there's one match booked officially. There's nothing listed anyway. Bob, is that right?
I could check real quick. I don't think so.
Doesn't look like there's anything. But okay, Oracle. If I said to you, you can lock in one match that you're confident, almost certain will be on Hell in a Cell, which match is it?
Cody and Seth in the cell.
Bobby, you co-sign that?
Yeah.
Okay, Bobby. Now give me a pick of yours. I'm intrigued.
I'll go with the Usos and RK Bro in the cell.
Oracle, what do you think?
I agree.
Do they do one more cell or do they leave it at 2?
I think they'll find a way to get women in the cell at 3. I think they might make that triple threat a cell match just because.
So
I know. I still think there's a chance we get Ronda and Shayna. That we have time.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they'll put it in the cage or not. I think it would make sense if they did, like you pointed out. But I say the triple threat's going to be in the cell.
So Asuka, Becky, Bianca, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what do you think? You sure of that one? What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that. Like, if they're gonna do one for the women, that would make the most sense. I don't like Ronda and Shayna. Obviously, the story's there, but like to have Hell in a Cell kind of open the feud is not.
What would you say if we took out the fact that they want to get a women's match in there, which would make sense in a lot of ways? If I just said to you there's a third cell match, what do you think is most likely if it isn't the women? Is there something that jumps off the page? I'm trying to think of something with Edge and AJ, I guess.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Because there's been interference, right?
Yeah.
I don't think their first two matches really require us a trilogy or third, but it does feel like with the story they're telling, that kind of makes some sense, for better or worse. Okay. Final question. This one is to Bobby only. Bob?
Yep.
What's all Caps doing tonight, pal?
See, that's really where it's going to be interesting because she doesn't like fit into any of the top programs.
Yeah, that sound you made was incredible, wasn't it, Oracle? It was really like, yeah,
because it's like, you know, the three women we talked about are busy. You know, Liv and Rhea are both busy, so it's like, is she going to do something with Sonya again?
I think so.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure Sonya's going to be like, kind of, you know, seeking revenge and going to be kind of nuts over this next couple weeks. Did you see like her mannerisms last week?
Yeah,
she's like shaking and shit like Edge.
Way overacting.
It was bad. Her intentions were good, but it was bad.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm laughing at how bad it was. It was like terrible.
Like she wanted to like put. I understand what she was trying to do, but it didn't really. I think she's going to be, you know, going nuts, going after Alexa. The one thing I would say, I hope we get like a promo from human Alexa Bliss where she explains the last 2 years. I know full well that's not going to happen. The one thing someone did point out to me is the conclusion of those terrible therapy vignettes was, if you carry the doll, you'll be fine. They may have just like, this may just be their explanation, right?
Yeah.
She just kind of is normal with a doll. I don't fucking know. Anyway, enough about that. This has been episode 13 of Fed Dead Redemption. Oracle, any final words or comments? Go ahead, pal.
No, not many. I'm closing in on May 1996, but I probably won't be done by Thursday.
Okay, fair.
I wish I would, but I watched a lot this weekend. But like, you know, there's only so much you can fit in. But join us tomorrow for the Grin Along at 7:00 Eastern.
Mm-hmm.
Join Joe every day at 10 a.m. Eastern for the Burt.
Patron. Very good.
Thursday, I'm sure we'll have something stirred up. Maybe. We'll
maybe, just maybe, Oracle, we finally get Jay Show to watch those WCW matches. Just maybe.
No. Hell yeah.
My God.
She reminded me of that, and I was like, well, I may regret that. But
and then Friday at 6:30 p.m. Eastern, roughly.
Yes.
Following Rampage, which all of us will be watching, I'm sure.
Do we know that's when it's on this week? Is that certain?
I think it's 5:30, isn't it? Or it's 5:30 or 6?
I thought it was an hour later this week, and then next week it's back to.
Okay, so it's 6:30 this week. Okay, so if it's 6:30 this week, then 7. You know, we'll get that sorted out before the end of the week. We'll probably be on before 8 o'clock on and
Friday. This is key. If you want the Rampage review specifically, wait until about 3 hours into the Grim where we'll have come around to it, right? So don't rush in there, okay? Unless you're wanting certain talk about other topics, then you don't have to rush. Bobby, any final words?
No, I don't think so. You know, I bought a ticket to Raw at Madison Square Garden the other day, so I'm really excited for that. Never been to the Garden for wrestling.
How's that boot taste, son?
And then going to SummerSlam from New York. So I got a little road trip coming up.
My God, Bobby on the road. Can you vlog that? Vlog's really popular on YouTube, you know.
I should.
You vlog it like Ethan Page. All right, folks. If you are watching this on YouTube on Tuesday, the last 20 minutes of this podcast may have immediately been rendered nonsensical. I don't know what happened on Raw. Anything could happen. I don't know. But if you're wondering where the chat is, I'm going to reiterate this one time. If you're wondering where the chat is, we're going to try some different things this week. If you want to be in the live chat, it's just $1. I would rather not make that be the case, but it has been a real pain this last week or so. People having to wait 10 hours to watch a fucking New Japan Capital Collision review. We're getting the shit kicked out of us by YouTube. So this week, we kick back. Am I right, Bob?
Yep.
Am I right, Oracle? Yeah, exactly right. We're going to kick the shit out of them. Okay. I probably shouldn't say it. I probably shouldn't say we're going to kick the shit out of YouTube. Anyway, folks, please have a wonderful evening. Enjoy Raw. And in the meantime, enjoy this outro. All hell.